That's why the floor is always messy. He grabs a bite, takes it off the plate, and eats it to the left. This guy here's better. He doesn't do that kind of thing. Does you, big guy? Do you just want some lovin's? Do you just want some lovin's? You sexy guys. This is Neil's Han Dynasty. Please like, share, and subscribe. Buy some silver and some platinum. Be kind, helpful, and grateful, because it's better than being a jerk. And I just like doing this stuff to kind of encourage Ninja to start walking and talking. Holy cow. How did he get up there? How did you get all the way up there? That is a long way to jump. But that's not what this is about. This is about my favorite subject, one of them. China, BRICS, stupidity. It all works out in the end. People concentrate on one group. Hey, look, that group is good. There's 15 groups. That group's saying something I want to hear. So let's pretend they're the only group in town and they're the only ones that are going to do anything. I hate to blow your whistle. Whistle blown. There's other groups in town and China's going down.
The G20 is the full movie, but today we got to see a trailer. Two important summits were held in Jakarta today. One was the India-ASEAN Summit, the other was the East Asia Summit. Prime Minister Modi attended both of these. He flew to Indonesia for a very quick trip, and I mean very quick. He departed New Delhi at around 8 p.m. yesterday. He was back home by 6:30 p.m. today. That's less than 24 hours. Now you may be wondering why. Why make a dash all the way to Jakarta just 24 hours before the G20 summit? After all, Joe Biden is not going. He did not go there. Neither did Xi Jinping. Well, Prime Minister Modi's statements in Jakarta give us an idea as to why he was there. These statements were pointed, they were unambiguous, and they signal a shift in policy. Let's begin with the East Asia Summit. It's a regional forum of Indo-Pacific countries. It started with 16 members in the year 2005. Later on, Russia and the US also joined. So what did Modi tell the East Asian leaders? Let me quote from what he said. The need of the hour is an Indo-Pacific where international law, including UNCLOS, is applicable to all countries, where there is freedom of navigation and overflight. India believes that the code of conduct for South China Sea should be effective and in accordance with UNCLOS. Now, this statement is very important. The Prime Minister says conduct in the South China Sea should be based on UNCLOS. What is UNCLOS? The United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS. Basically maritime rules, and UNCLOS is a touchy subject for China. In 2016, Chinese claims over South China Sea were rejected by an international court. That verdict was based on UNCLOS. Now, India has always supported these rules, but India's position on China's claims has evolved over the years. In 2016, when this verdict came out, New Delhi simply noted the verdict, no positive or negative reaction. But in June this year, 2023, that position changed. For the first time, India demanded that the 2016 verdict should be upheld. In other words, that China is wrong. What does this policy change mean? It means that India is becoming bolder in the South China Sea. Now to the second summit, the India-ASEAN Summit. This meeting was all about consolidating on recent progress. Last year, both sides elevated their ties. It is now a comprehensive strategic partnership. So where does it go next? Today, the Prime Minister said that the 21st century is Asia's century. He said ASEAN's vision is India's vision. Listen to this.
आसियान भारत की एक्ट ईस्ट पॉलिसी का केंद्रीय स्तंभ है। भारत आसियान सेंट्रलिटी और इंडो पैसिफिक पर आसियान के आउटलुक का पूर्ण समर्थन करता है। 21वीं सदी एशिया की सदी है, हम सबकी सदी है। इसके लिए आवश्यक है कि हम एक रूल्स बेस्ड पोस्ट कोविड वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर का निर्माण और मानव कल्याण के लिए सबका प्रयास।
Again, let's put these comments in context. Just yesterday, ASEAN leaders held another summit, ASEAN +3. The three being China, Japan, and South Korea. Now, Xi Jinping did not even bother to attend it. So the Chinese premier took his place. And what did he tell ASEAN? Don't pick sides, oppose a Cold War. That's what the Chinese leader said. Listen to this.
To manage differences at present, it is very important to oppose picking sides, oppose bloc confrontation, and oppose a new Cold War. Disagreements and disputes among countries should be handled properly.
The difference is quite obvious. India says we support your views and outlook. China says don't pick sides. Just one problem, though. That decision is not China's to make. ASEAN nations did try to balance between India and its rivals, between China and its rivals, rather. In fact, they still do. But China's belligerence is forcing a rethink. As for the Cold War, China's memory seems a bit weak. The Cold War was not just about picking sides, it was also about big countries bullying smaller ones. So basically, the same as China's current policy. From the looks of it, most countries have had enough of it. Just look at what happened last week. China released a new map. They claim territories belonging to India, the Philippines, Malaysia, Vietnam, Taiwan, and Japan. Three of them are ASEAN nations. But the same China tells ASEAN, don't pick sides. All of these countries are joining hands because of China. Maybe the US wants to encircle and pin them down. But for neighbors, it's more existential. It's about protecting their land. And India too sees it that way. New Delhi is investing more political capital in the Indo Pacific. In fact, there is talk of a new proposal now. The Quad leaders could be chief guests at India's next Republic Day, 2024. It's certainly possible. Next year is India's turn to host the annual Quad Summit. If the dates check out, then it could happen on or around Republic Day. We should have more clarity by the end of this week because all four Quad nations are also G20 members. Joe Biden will be in New Delhi, so will Anthony Albanese of Australia and Fumio Kishida of Japan. Chances are they will discuss Quad. All these events reveal India's current priorities. The Prime Minister's dash to Jakarta, his unconditional support to ASEAN, his mention of UNCLOS, and the idea of Quad on Republic Day. In the past years, there has been talk of India being non committal in the Indo Pacific, of New Delhi blowing hot and cold. Well, these events and statements could signal an end to that.
And on a side note, China and India are going to a birthday party this week and exchanging gifts for each other because they just love each other and so good friends. And in another video I made, that map that she showed you, I actually did a video about a month ago, 3 weeks ago, that showed that same map and it said, hey, India's or China's taking all kinds of people's properties and telling them, shut the fuck up. We're just going to take it, go along with it. And that's what you people want as a world leader. Wow. Who's the idiots? Wow, this is so great, man. Knowledge truly is power. Never back the wrong side just because you feel that they've got a good story and you want to believe it. Those are all reasons that lemmings go off the cliff. Become informed. Find shit out for yourself. Don't jump on the first bandwagon that comes along that benefits you because it's probably not right. Come on, let's be Americans. You want to take back America? Okay, make yourself an American. Look up the dictionary, find out what an American's supposed to be. You guys have a nice night.